Today, we are going to talk about Neptune. This one's going to be a little bit longer as we go through the planets and how Neptune aspecting them can feel. So, Neptune is kind of like a cosmic fog machine. It's dreamy, it's mystical, it can be intoxicating, and it can be terrible with judgment. And when you're under a Neptune transit, it can have you acting a little unhinged. Like out of nowhere, it can have you falling hard for someone. You could be chasing illusions or just losing your grip on reality. Some people, though, might meet a soulmate under this transit and it's lovely and life changing. And then others might marry and divorce twice before the fog clears. Neptune has been moving through Pisces for over a decade now, and in Vedic astrology, using sidereal calculations, it's still in Pisces. So if you want to follow along, please only use a chart using sidereal calculations. You can go to my website or you can go to astroseek.com to get your chart there. So right now, Neptune is sitting near 9 degrees Pisces in the nakshatra Uttara Bhadrapada, and it won't leave there for a few years. If you have a personal planet there like the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, or Mars, you have been living through this transit. So let's talk about what actually it'll feel like if you have planets in Pisces. But I think we should start first with what a transit from Neptune does. Neptune softens edges. It does not attack a planet, it blurs it. Whatever that planet does in your chart, Neptune asks you to release the tight grip you once had on it. And sometimes that will feel like inspiration, and sometimes it's going to feel like confusion, but most of the time it'll feel like both. Neptune also rules Pisces, so this transit carries some extra weight. It's in its home turf. The dissolving is a little bit deeper here than it would be in a sign Neptune is only visiting. So now let's talk about the planets in Pisces in your natal chart that are being affected by Neptune during this transit. So if you have your sun in Pisces, your sense of self is porous. You may feel less sure of who you are or find your identity wrapped up in a cause, a faith, or a creative project that's bigger than you. Your ego definitely starts to take a back seat. Your entire being is all about compassion in other people. The trap, though, is losing yourself in someone else's story. An example here could be that a person with their natal sun in Pisces might step back from a job that once defined them. They may trade their career for a quieter kind of purpose, giving back to others. And if you have the moon in Pisces, this one runs a little bit deeper. The moon already feels at home in Pisces. Emotions become harder to contain. Your empathy increases, but so does the pull towards escape, whether through sleep, substances, or just drifting away from hard conversations. And here's an example of how you may find yourself maybe crying at things that never moved you before, listening to music, seeing a commercial might bring on the tears, going through old photographs and getting emotional, those sorts of things. So if you have your Mercury in Pisces, thinking turns more intuitive rather than linear, and facts and feelings will start to blend. This is really good for writing poetry, music, and doing symbolic work. It's less wonderful for contracts, deadlines, and clear yes or no answers. So here's how this could play out. You could start writing every morning during this transit, and by the end, have a rough draft of a book completed. But while you're all focused on that writing, you may have missed some important deadlines because these dates completely slipped your mind. And if you have Venus in Pisces, like I do, you might find that love becomes idealized. You might fall hard for a person, an image, or a fantasy version of a relationship. Boundaries blur here too, so you're just not seeing everything. Here's an example of Venus and Pisces with a Neptune transit. You could have spent months certain you had found the one, only to realize partway through that you've fallen for a version of this person that you built in your head. And if Neptune is transiting your Mars, your drive was probably going to be a bit weaker. You may struggle to state what you really want, or find your usual push is now replaced by a quieter, more patient kind of effort. Anger, when it shows up, will turn inward instead of outward. And an example of someone experiencing Neptune transiting Mars in Pisces is that, say you stop forcing your business plans and instead let the momentum build on its own. It can feel like you're doing nothing for months, then things just start happening, showing that your softer efforts actually paid off. So, Neptune does not hand you clarity right away. It asks you to sit in the fog long enough to see what still matters once the noise clears. And in the most positive sense, Neptune isn't all fog and mirrors. At its best, it dissolves boundaries and reminds us that love can feel infinite when it's right. So, there is your update on the Neptune transiting Pisces and how it affects your personal planets. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.